Hey YouTube goers, this is Matt the Lawn Care Little Guy, and today we're going to be talking about my equipment for 2019 followed by my time alone with God. So welcome to my channel and stay tuned. Okay, well before I get started in my plans for 2019 equipment, what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to you about that like and dislike button, and maybe even the subscribe button. I have a number of subscribers and I have a number of views each and every video, but what I don't get is I don't get a whole lot of activities on the likes or the dislikes, and I just want to let you know that I would love if you just took any moment throughout this video, whether you stay watching or not, just to pick one of those and click one of them. If you haven't yet subscribed, just go ahead and look down at the bottom right hand corner and you'll see a subscribe button, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then if you're especially ambitious about my channel and YouTube, go ahead and hit the bell too. Then you'll know when every time I put out a video. So that being said, let me tell you what's up with 2019 and my equipment. I'm going to start off with the equipment that I do have, and then I'm going to move on to the changes that I'm going to make. So what do I have? I'm going to go through quickly, okay? So pay attention. I start off with a Stihl BG55, needs a renovation. Then I go to the Echo PB580T backpack blower. Looking pretty good. Not going to have to do much, probably a tune-up. And then I'm going to move along to my trimmers and edgers, and the trimmer I have is an FS90R. Love the trimmer, but it also needs a makeover, so we're keeping that around. Then I have the Stihl FC70, which is an older edger, and it's in really poor shape. I tried to renovate it last year with through my Stihl dealer, and I wasn't happy, so I'm going to try to renovate it this year with a carburetor. And then I have the Echo Pass System 225, and I have the edger attachment, the trimmer attachment, as well as the pole saw attachment. And that's actually in pretty good shape, although I got to get the pole saw attachment sharpened up. Other than that, it's going to be a tune-up, and we're keeping it around. I'd like to actually have my Stihl edger dedicated as an edger, and then keep two trimmers as a backup because I use them for two different things. So, moving on to mowers. I got the HRX 217. I'm going to be replacing that this year, and later on in this video I'll tell you what I'm going to be replacing it with. The short on it is I was pretty happy with it in the beginning, not so happy with it in the end. It's a really popular mower, a lot of great reviews on it, so if you're interested in it and don't want to spend the 800 bucks, shoot me an email. It'll be in the description and maybe we can make a deal. Alright, moving along to the Toro Proline 32. It is a belt drive, mid-size walk behind with a fixed deck. Not a popular mower, but I'll tell you what, it's reliable as all get out. Oh yeah. So I didn't use it very much last year. I used it a lot the year before, not so much last year because it's a little bit cumbersome in the tiny lawns that I do, but I'm looking to utilize it more often in the 2019 season. So that's going in the shop and going to get renovated. I've also got the Toro Time Master 30, still loving it, and I'm not having the issues I had the first season. If you're watching my channel, I had a failure like on the last lawn of the season, and it was an easy fix. But I got it back up and going, but it's definitely going to need a renovation with new wheels and a whole look over, a tune-up and everything. So, I thought somebody was walking in my door. They're not. I'm all alone. Ooh. Anyways, moving along. So then we're going to go to the Gravely 34 Zero Turn. It's a residential model, and I was pretty happy with it last year. It was my first year I had it. I bought it used, and I'm going to keep it around and utilize it heavily in the 2019 season. But I did have some trouble with it last year, not because of the mower, but because I hit a manhole cover with it, and I'm not quite sure I accurately assessed the damage on it. So, because I feel like I had some cut quality issues with it after that, and I just never got it fixed. So it's going in the shop, and I'm going to let them see what they can do with it. So big renovation for all of my equipment. I'm going to be keeping almost all of it except for that Honda HRX 217. So what am I going to replace it with? Well, you might be surprised. I am going to replace it with, let's hear a drum roll, the Toro Recycler 22. Yep, I'm not doing commercial. You'd think going in the 5th year of business I might be putting in some commercial equipment. Well, the only one I have is that Toro 32 Pro line. And to be honest with you, the small mower, the 21 or the 22, it's a disposable part of my my business. Primarily all I'm going to be using it for is the boulevards, which is the area between the sidewalks and the street. So I'd be surprised if I got 100 hours on it next year. So for some of you that might be a lot, for some of you that might be nothing, but either which way, I have a choice to either upgrade to a commercial mower, stay about the same, or I can go cheap. Well, for a disposable part of my business, I'm going to go on the cheap. So why do I pick Toro? Well, honestly, one of the biggest reasons is the personal pay system. And that's another reason why I went residential versus commercial, is because I really don't like the propel system on the commercial models. I really, really like the personal pace. Ever since I bought my Toro Time Master with the personal pace system, I've been sold on it. So I love it. So I think the highest I would even go would be the Super Recycler, but the Super Recycler doesn't come without a higher price tag. So I'm gonna save the money, get the personal pay system. And then also something that I really liked about the HRX 217 that the Toro now offers is a very easy adjustment to move from mulch to bag and side discharge. I'm sorry, not side discharge, just from bulk, or from bagging to mulching. Now the HRX 217, they call it the Versamo system, and I can't remember what Toro calls it, but now it's very easy. You don't have to take the bag off. You can just switch quickly and be done with it. Now, I kind of misspoke a little bit about the side discharge. The HRX 217 is actually a rear discharge, and I thought I was going to like that because I didn't want to shoot grass clippings into the flower beds of my customers. But as it turns out, I didn't really like it that much. It clogged up pretty good, and then even when it wasn't clogged up, I just didn't really care for the way it distributed the clippings. I'd rather have a side discharge mower. So Toro it is. I love the cut quality of Toro, generally speaking. I've been very rarely disappointed in any Toro product I've ever had, with the exception of the hand tools. Not so hot, guys. Stick with the mowers. But that's going to be my plan for 2019 with my equipment. When I do buy that mower, I will be sure to put a review on there. I know that a lot of folks are not that interested in it, but I bet you're going to be wondering, lawn care little guy, are you happy with it? So 2019, after I get a few hours on it, I'll be putting up a review for that mower. So what else am I going to be doing? Oh, I'm hoping to get hour meters for all of my equipment because I'm really bad with my maintenance. Doing it myself with the oil changes. So we want to keep track of the hours that we have on our mower so we know when to do the maintenance, and I have not done that. So I'm looking into the little Toro pucks, but they're about 30 bucks a piece, but they're really neat because they're electronic, and then they can sync with an app that you carry on any mobile device as far as I know, and then you can keep track of your hours very easily and receive automatic notifications. So if I want to have that discipline in my life and my business, then I'm going to try and make it easy to collect the data and set reminders, but that it doesn't come with cost as well. You know, it could be a couple $100 just for hour meters, but I'm thinking about it. So, so 2019, I'm super looking forward to it. And from the lawn care little guy to you, that's what's up. All right, so if you're still watching, then you're interested in the things of God, because this is my time alone with God, and this is where I get to share with you what He's speaking with me. So if you're a new subscriber, I just thank you for keeping on watching to sit through the entire video, and I just appreciate you. And if this is the first time you're watching, welcome. I hope you're encouraged. So I'm going to share with you my application from today, and it comes from Joshua chapter 9, verse 14. And usually what I do is I take a little piece of that scripture out, and the part that I took was, did not ask counsel from the Lord. And I thought about that being in the context that the Israelites were going over the Jordan, and they're going to possess the land, and they're going to displace the people that are in that land, and they're going to take it for themselves. Well, before they had gotten so far, there was a people that was living next door to them. Now next door could be miles away, right? Next door is not exactly like the next door that we think of it. But they had traveled, okay? But they intended to deceive the Israelites into thinking that they actually lived much further away, okay? So they put on old clothes, things that were really wore out, and they carried everything and their intent was to deceive the Israelites into thinking that they were somebody that they were not. So the Israelites bought into it. And the reason why is because they did not seek the counsel of the Lord. And I think about that in the Christian life and in my life. How many things do I go forward with? How many decisions do I have? How many judgments do I make throughout the course of a day, a week, or even the year where I do not seek the counsel of the Lord? And by doing that, I become deceived and make a bad decision. Have you ever made a bad decision? I know I've made a ton of bad decisions. That's what was happening right here. The intent was to deceive the Israelites, and they bought it. They didn't seek the counsel of the Lord. But as Christians, if we do seek the counsel of the Lord, if we are in communication with the Lord, He will guide our thoughts, He will guide our hearts, and He will help us to make the best decision possible so that we can actually live in His blessings, which for the Israelites was the promised land, going into the land that that was promised to them by the Lord. We have promises as well, but it's very easy to be distracted from those promises when we know that we have an enemy that's coming to deceive us intentionally, and we are not in communication with the Lord, and that allows us to buy into something that is not true, keeping us from experiencing the full blessings of God. So what is my application? How do I do this? I say, don't be deceived because of lack of counsel. From lack of counsel from God. Keep close and regular communication with God open. So if I'm going to be deceived, it's not going to be because I lack relationship with God. That's not why, that is not the downfall that I want. I want to be in close communication with the Lord so I can make the best decisions possible. So that's my tag time. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're encouraged by it. I'd love to interact with you guys more in that way. And this is coming to the end of my video. So know this, that I'm praying for you. Pray for me. Don't forget to hit the like button or the dislike button. Comment, subscribe, share, all of that. And peace.